Hi guys, my name is Jamie. Welcome to my channel. Today's video, I'm going to do a chatty get ready with me on camera where I do this look. It's kind of like natural glowy skin, a nice nude glossy lip, and this winged eyeliner with a pop of neon green in the inner corner. If you want to hang out with me and see how I achieve this look, just keep on watching. So I think for today, I'm just going to do a winged liner and a fun pop of color on the inner corner and kind of just keep the skin really simple. For primer, I'm going to go in with the Becca First Light Priming Filter. I love this under my foundation and I think it does a great job kind of brightening my skin, and I just like the way that it looks. I'm just going to apply a little bit of that. I'm going to use about a pump of this for my entire face. So me and my friends are actually going to a drag queen brunch this morning and I am so excited and I just really can't wait to go. I think it's gonna be so much fun. We're doing it as like a girl's day. So now that primer is nice and tacky, I'm gonna go into my foundations. For foundation, I'm gonna mix together the Physicians Formula Healthy Foundation in the shade LC1 with the CoverGirl Vitalist Healthy Elixir Foundation in the shade 705. I like the Physician Formula because it's a doe foot, so I'm able to control the amount of coverage, and I just want a little bit more glow using the CoverGirl foundation. So I'm just going to take the Physicians Formula and just dot it where I need some. I don't really want super full coverage skin today. I kind of want something that looks like skin because my skin's been doing really well actually lately and I kind of just want to embrace that. And then I'm going to take less than a pump of this foundation because once again, I really don't want too full coverage. So that's the amount that I poured out, and I'm just going to also dot that on my skin. Both these foundations are like slightly too dark for me, so I'm just going to bring them down to my neck so it doesn't look like I have that, you know, mask of foundation on. I'm just going to go ahead and blend this out with my Real Technique sponge. If you also hear any noises in the back, my cat is hanging out in my room, but there's a good chance he won't appear on camera because he's kind of mad at me because I took him at the vet this morning, and he is definitely not a fan of that. But if you hear any weird noises, that's what it is. So I'm just blending this out. And as you can see, you can still see some imperfections on my skin. I have like a breakout scar there and my freckles, but I really just like the way that looks and I'm totally okay with showing my skin. Getting that all up in there, right in my hairline. Perfect. So now that that's blended, I am going to go in with a little bit of concealer and I'm going to go in with the NYX Can't Stop, Won't Stop. I'm just going to put like the smallest amount under my eye because I find that this does have really good coverage. A little bit on my nose, Cupid's bow, chin, and forehead. That's all the concealer I'm going to use because once again, I kind of want to be natural. So I've talked about how this is one of my first videos. I filmed like 3 videos this weekend back from vacation, so I can put in some vacation photos. My friend and I went to Hungary, Austria, Slovakia, and Czechia, or the Czech Republic, and it was such a good time. We had the best weather. It was so warm. I just really needed a vacation. We just had such a good time. Our group was really fun. I just fell in love with Budapest and Prague. I think they were my favorite cities that we went to. So I'll put some photos while I'm doing my base so you guys can see my vacation. And then now that this is all blended out, I'm just going to powder the places that I put concealer on, and I'm going to use my number 7 translucent light, number 7 perfect light loose setting powder in the shade translucent. But so we were in Budapest. We got there at like 9 a.m. one day. So we had that day, a full day, and then a morning. We were in Vienna for 3 days, but we did take a day trip to Slovakia. And we were only in Prague for 2 days. And I kind of wish we got more time in Prague because it was such a cool city and I really would have explored a little bit more. On second thought, I am powdering everywhere, but I'm using the slightest amount of powder. You can barely see it because I just don't want anything weighing down my skin. So I'm going to go in with my eyes and I'm going to prime my eyes with my Fenty Beauty Pro Filter Eyeshadow Primer in the shade Invisipink. I have another one of these set, but I'm still trying to scrape the sides of this one and really get all of the product out. So I'm just gonna put a little bit on my lids. I'm not doing too much shadow today, but whatever shadow I put down, I really want it to stay in place. So just a little bit. And I'm going to tap that out with my sponge. So I like to make sure this primer dries before I go in on shadow or whatever I'm using on my eyes, because otherwise it will stick to it. So while I'm waiting for that to happen, I think I'm gonna go ahead and fill in my brows. And to fill in my brows, I go in with the NYX Micro Brow Pencil in the shade Ash Brown. And I really only fill in the arch of my brow, the beginning and the tail. I know that sounds like a lot, but I like to do minimal because I have pretty much full brows, but I just like a little bit of added definition. So I go under the beginning of my brows to kind of square them off there. And then I'll add a few hair-like strokes, especially my left brow. My left brow is my struggle brow. I will define the arch ever so slightly and just fill in there. And then go over my tail. My tail is kind of non-existent by itself. And then to set my brows in place and to make sure my hairs are locked and not moving, I use the Anastasia Beverly Hills Clear Brow Gel. And I find that this one just makes sure all the hairs are in line and they're not going anywhere. Great. So now that my brows are done and my eyeshadow primer is ready to go, I'm going to use the Anastasia Beverly Hills Prism palette for today's look. So I'm going to take the shade Unity right here and just fluff that into my crease. And I'm going to use a BH Cosmetics Pro No. 5 blending brush. I don't want to use the dark brown in here called Parallel to deepen up my crease. So instead I'm going to go in with my bronzer, which today I'm going to use the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. And on the same blending brush, I'm going to pick up a little bit of that color and throw that into my crease just to add a little bit more definition. But I really don't want anything too harsh because I think I'm going to go in with a pretty dramatic wing. Oh, I just love the way this bronzer smells. It reminds me of a beach vacation. And considering it's finally like warm and even hot here, I am so ready to go to the beach this summer. Great. So that's what I want my crease to look like. Just a little bit of definition, kind of like soft. And I'm going to go right in with my liner. Actually, first I'm going to put on my lid shade and I'm going to use the shade Lucid, which is this like white pearly color. But it's not too shimmery. So I'm just going to pop that onto my lid. I would say it's more of it's definitely not a pure white shade. It's like an off-white, but I find that it just gives me the perfect amount of definition that I need without being too metallic and overbearing. And I want to keep the inner corner clear, unlike I just did, because I am going to put this beautiful neon green into the inner corner. So now I'm going to do a winged liner, and for my winged liner, I'm going to go with the Sephora collection liner. This is their new felt tip or brush tip pen, and it's waterproof, but I really like it because it's brush tipped, and I feel like I can get such a precise wing. Whereas I used to use the Stila Cosmetics Stay All Day liquid liner, and although I loved that and it really did stay, I found that because it was a felt tip, it would sometimes dry out as I was doing my wing, and I just couldn't get as precise as I would have liked to. So I'm super happy with the Sephora one. Definitely doing a wing for me like takes forever. It's one of those skills that I really had to practice, and I used to wear winged eyeliner on a daily basis and then I stopped, so now I'm rusty again. But I really like to kind of draw on my inner line, and then I draw the wing, and then I find that I can make it thicker as needed because I hate when I go too thick on the lash line and then it kind of like ruins the whole look. So now I'm gonna thicken that up and thicken that wing from the tip down. And making sure I fill in all the spots because I think there's nothing worse when you have like a gap. So I'm just gonna thicken that lash line a little bit. And I actually do tight line with liquid liner. I know this probably isn't for everybody, but I just find that it works for me. So I'm gonna go underneath my lashes to fill in that gap so it doesn't, you don't see that skin showing through. I'm gonna do the other wing off camera and I'll be right back to finish off the look. Wow, it was a good thing I did that wing off camera because let me tell you, I struggled, but they're even enough for my liking. So like I mentioned, we're gonna go in with this neon green called Sphere for the inner corner. So in with this crown brushes, it's a lip brush. I got it in a set off Haute look, and just get in that neon and throw that into the inner corner for a fun pop of color for today. In hindsight, I probably should have put a base under the shadow, but it's too late, so I am just packing that color on. And I'm going to blend that into our lid color just so it's not super harsh. But this color is such a unique color in my collection. And at first when I saw the palette, I was like, oh, this is so cool, but there's a neon. Like, what am I gonna do with this? And now that neons are so on trend, I actually have a pretty sizable dip in this color, which if you were to ask me when I first bought this, if I would have that, I would have probably laughed at you. So I'm really just packing that color in, going in a few times, building it up, just so it gets to the pigmented level that I want, and blending that onto the lid as well, just so it looks like it's a little bit smoother. I'm gonna go in with one last layer on each eye and I should be set. So that's what the inner corner looks like. It's just a fun pop of color. So the eye look is pretty much complete. I just have to add some mascara and do the lower lash line. For mascara, I'm gonna go into my Essence Lash Princess False Lash Effect Mascara and just put that on the top lashes. And I find that whenever I wear this mascara, I always get compliments on my eyelashes because it does such a good job really separating and lengthening them. I have naturally like decently long lashes, but my problem is because of my hair color, the ends are actually blonde. So sometimes they don't look as long without mascara. So if I was gonna pick like one makeup product to wear forever, like just that product, I would probably pick mascara because I feel like it makes such a difference in my eye makeup. So now that my mascara is done, for my lower lash line, I'm gonna go back in on that same blending brush with the same colors we used and just throw that underneath for a little bit of color. And once again, I'm gonna go back in with my Essence Lash Princess Mascara and throw that onto the lower lash line. To finish off the face for bronzer, I'm gonna go in with my Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer, and I'm gonna go in on this BH Cosmetics brush, which has the name worn off. But I like the shape of this because I feel like I can also get into the hollows of my cheekbones, as well as just all over for a nice diffused warmth glow. And I don't know if I mentioned this, but my butter bronzer is in the shade Bronzer. I was debating between bronzer and light bronzer, but I heard that light bronzer pulls a little bit orange, and because of my undertones, I definitely don't need an orange bronzer. Put a little bit on my nose just to warm up that area, and then my jawline. So now that we're all nice and bronzed, I'm gonna go in with my blush, and I'm gonna use the Too Faced Melted Peach blush in the shade Ginger Peach. I love this thing much more than I thought I would, and I'm gonna go in with my Eco Tools sheer blush brush And this is the cream blush, so you can also apply it with your hands, but I just find that it works so well with this brush. It also doesn't matter that I set my face with powder because it doesn't really disrupt the powders. It's such a pretty color and it looks so natural on the cheeks, and it has like such a pretty sheen. Definitely looks more intense on camera, but I promise I do not have this red cheeks in real life. And a little bit on my nose. A little bit on my nose. Okay, turned into a clown nose. So I'm gonna go in with my sponge and just tap that out a little bit. And I'm gonna tap over my cheeks just a little bit to absorb some of that product. Because I feel like my cheeks are still a little bold, I'm gonna go in with my bronzer brush and into my loose powder and just dust some powder over that. Try to soften up that color a bit. There we go. And last but not least, I'm going to finish off my face with a little bit of highlighter. Highlighter, I'm going to go with my LouManizer by the Balm and apply it with my Studio 5 London brush, which I got off Amazon, but I just love it for highlighter. So just the top of the cheekbones and a little bit on the nose. I think that's all I'm going to do today. Last but not least, we have lips. I'm going to keep my lips really nude and glossy because I want the attention on the inner corner and on our eye look. So I'm going to line my lips with the ColourPop pencil in the shade Curvy, which was a collaboration with I Love Sarah E. Oh, it's coming out of its packaging. And I think I'm actually going to fill in my lips with this color as well. And I really love the ColourPop liners for filling in my lips because they're so creamy. And I'm going to pair a gloss with this, and the gloss that I'm choosing to use today is the Morphe gloss in the shade Freedom. It's just a really pretty like nudie brown gloss, and I think it pairs well with this look. So that wraps up today's look. I hope you enjoyed getting ready with me. I had such a fun time filming my look and doing it on camera, and I hope you like our subtle pop of color in the inner corner and our really natural glowing face. If you like this video, I hope you'll consider giving it a thumbs up and subscribing to my channel. I post about 2 new videos every week, and I'd love to have you join me in my next one. But that wraps up today's video. Thanks for watching.